Okay, so introduction one to the gate of reincarnation, Sha'ar HaGilgulim. We're in the Hebrew. It says by number two, because number one doesn't have anything. Number one just says Hakdama Aleph, introduction one. So we're by number two. V'nascha mashakasav. We begin with what is written. These are Rashi Tevos. Rashi Tevos means um, uh, the heads of the words. The first letter of each word. It's an acronym. So if you see in the Hebrew where we're reading from, maybe it's good actually that I'm sharing my screen because now you can see exactly what I'm looking at. This first word in Hebrew, because I know not everyone in our group knows the Hebrew and knows how to read Hebrew and can follow in Hebrew. So I want them to also understand what Rashi Tevos are. I mean, acronyms, fair enough, but okay. So the first word is V'naschil, and we will begin and we will start. Then we have the letters Mem and Shin with this like whatever apostrophe, two apostrophes, whatever they are between the Mem and the Hey. Sorry, between the Mem and the Shin. That's an acronym. It stands for Mashakasav. So we begin with that which is written by Chazal. That's Chachamenu Zechonu Levracha, our wise ones of blessed memory, those that had of ours that had Chachma. Chachma is one of the 10 Sfirot. I'm sure we're gonna learn about it. I'm sure. But anyways, so he says we're gonna begin with what our sages of blessed memory teach us. Ki chamisha Shemos yesh lenefesh. There are 5 names to the soul. Okay, he says we're going to begin with what our sages of blessed memory have taught us, that there are 5 names to the soul. V'zeh sidra mimata lemala, and this is their seder, their order from bottom to top. Okay, now I said soul, but the Hebrew says nefesh. There's 5 names to this thing that's called nefesh, and there's a seder. There's an order to them from bottom to top. Seder is also what we call the Passover seder. What's the Passover Seder? It's an order, it's an arrangement of some sort. You're putting things in order. So there's an order to this 5 levels of the Nefesh. Okay? What are they from bottom to top? The bottom one has the name of it, the thing itself. We said there's 5 levels to the Nefesh. The bottom one is called Nefesh. Then you have Ruach. On top of Ruach, you have Neshama. On top of Neshama, you have Chaya. On top of Chaya, you have Yechida. Okay? Now I'm actually going to put into the group right now a link to a page that I did not read. I did not read this, but Lior asked that I include it. It's some kind of rabbi's response to uh, to the question, what's the difference between a Jewish soul and a non-Jewish soul? So we can get into that and we can figure that out and we can see if there is a difference and where the difference is exactly. But I just shared uh, from Leora a classical approach and a response, just so that it's there on the table. Just like last night, I shared a Hebrew class that I ended up deleting and saying it wasn't really it wasn't what I thought it would be. It's like we need resources, even if they're not. I didn't read this resource. I didn't. We're gonna do our own study and our own approach. What's the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew? We will do that. We will figure it out. But for now, at least we know that what's on available on the internet. So thank you, Leora. We know now. Whoever wants, they can go get a classical Jewish approach from the internet. I don't know what it says. Okay, but if anyone wants, it's in the group, an article about what's the difference between because because we know that there's a difference, and if you want to get high up all the way, which maybe the Jews are not getting there, all of them or some of them, I don't know. But if you want to get up all the way, according to what we're going to be studying, I think you're going to see that you need to have unlock your Jewish soul, which we're not there. Okay, let's just read it. Let's just read it. Okay, Zain Safek ki loy nafal kriya hashemas anizkares b'mikra over his damen. And there is no doubt that it didn't fall, the calling of these mentioned names, in a happenstance or whatever manner. It didn't just happen, okay? That's what he's saying. He's saying it didn't just happen. That, oh, look what I could do. It didn't just happen. Okay, fine. So these names are specific. Amnam da, however, no. Ki ha'adam atzmai, the man himself, hu haruchnius asher b'toich guf. He is the spirituality that is within the body. V'hagof hu lavosh ha'adam, and the body is the garments of the man. Ve'inenu ha'adam atzmai, but it's not the man himself. Okay, it's very basic. So far, it's very basic, very deep, but very basic so far, right? These Rashi Tevos, how did we say it? It was in English. I forgot what it's called, anagram or whatever. I'm not sure. Kumaishe Kasav ha something. Let's see if we can find the English here and see how they translate it. That'll help.
Acronym?
Yeah, acronym. Yes. Thank you. Okay, here we are. As it says, the flesh does not cover up the person. Ukumoishe Kasav. I don't know what this acronym would be, but um Al Basar Adam Lo Yasech. It's a verse that he's quoting. Al Basar Adam, on the Basar's flesh of Adam person. Lo Yasech. You should not Yasech. You should not. I don't know what Yasech means. And the way they have it in English is the flesh does not cover up the person. Al Basar Adam Lo Yasech. So Yasech maybe is cover up. Ukanizka bezohar beparshas. Sorry, bezohar parshas bereshis daf chaf amid beis, and like is mentioned in the book of Zohar. Maybe we'll see that in the parsha of Bereshit on page 20, folio 2. So he's giving us sources. He's giving us sources. Maybe we'll go check that out. Like, let's read this first, but maybe we're gonna go read that Zohar also. V'noda ki Adam mikasher kol daled olamis atzilus bria yitzira asiya. And it's known that the man, who is the life force of the body, he ties together all four of the worlds of Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. In English, what would that be? They call it like formation, this, that, that. Let's see what they call it here. They didn't translate it in English. Okay, fine. V'lachein b'hechrechu sheyu b'chalokim mikol ha'arba ilamis. Says it's therefore obvious that there must be portions from all the four worlds. In, I guess, within the man. Okay, so the man is the one that ties together all the four worlds. So it must be that he has within him a portion from all the four worlds because he ties them all together. Ve'elu achalakim kol chelik mehem, and these portions, each one of them, nikra b'shem echad, it's called from one of the names, menachamesha shemais hanizkaris, from the five mentioned names, maybe in a previous chapter. Shehem nefesh ruach neshama chaya yechida. What are these five mentioned names that are portions of the different worlds that exist within man because he ties them all together? You have five: nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. We did talk about those five on the top, didn't we? Okay. K'moshe yispire, like I'm going to explain, he says. V'loi berega echad zoicha lekachas kulam, and it's not in one moment that he merits to take all of them. Rakafi zichu yoisav, rather only according to his merits. Now, I think this is a reference to two things. I think it's a reference also to a person that in life you don't get your five levels of your soul just because there's five levels of soul. You don't get them. You start off with the lowest level, and if you upgrade it, max it out, you get to the next one. If you max that one out, you get to the next one. If you max that, and so on and so forth, right? So that's what it's saying on a simple level. But I think it's also talking to us, the reader. It's saying you're not going to get all this information that I'm telling you. While I tell you about it, it's happening to you. When you read it, you're not just reading an information, you're causing this process that we're talking about to occur. So just recognize that it's not going to happen in one moment, but it's all according to the merits of the one reading it. Like it's according to our merits. Recognize that this process, although it's very deep and big and everything, like we're not going to get it all at once. We're not, even though we're talking about great and lofty things, we're not going to get our fifth level of the soul and enter the fifth dimension just because we read it. Like it's all according to our merits, each one according, Meaning we're going to get it. We will because we read it, but it's going to be only according to our merits. It's only going to be from where we are. There's always something bigger and greater. Ubetchila noitel chelek echad hagrua shebekulam. In the beginning, he takes one portion, the least of all of them. He gets the smallest, the lowest level, the nefesh. Vehu hanikra nefesh, and that is called nefesh. V'achar kach, this is an acronym here. Ve'achar kach, and after that, im yizke, if he's meritorious, if he merits, yoiser, more, hikach gam es ruach. He'll take also the level called ruach. Ukumavur be'kama mekoimos b'sefer zohar, and like it is explained in a bunch of places in the book of Zohar. Mehem beparshas Vayechi. One of those places is in the portion of Vayechi. Mehem beparshas Truma. One of those portions, one of them is the portion of Truma. And specifically at the beginning of the Parsha Mishpatim on page 94, folio 2. And he says, Ubefrat bereish Parshas Mishpatim daf tzadi dalet amid beis, v'zel l'shaynai. That's an acronym. Vav zayin lamed, v'zel l'shaynai. And this is, and it means, and quote. Here, this is another acronym. Taf ches, it means tachazi, come and see. Tachazi. In the Talmud, they would say tashema, come and hear. In the Aramaic, in the esoteric Zohar, more esoteric Zohar, it's a vision. It's not an audio. It's a visual. So it's not tashema, come and hear. But rather it's tachazi, come and see. So this is a quote from the beginning of portion of Mishpatim in Zohar, that it had something to do with this idea that you get each level as you're worthy of it. Tachazi, come and see. Barnash karas yalid, a man, son of man, when he's born. Yahavin le nefesh, they give him a nefesh, v'chule, etc. This is Aramaic, by the way. Okay, so he didn't quote the whole thing. He just quotes that first part of it, that you see that when you get born, you get the first level. They're called the nefesh. We should see all these Zohars that he's quoting. We should. That's what he's doing. He's taking him on this trip. I think that's what we're going to do. But Rega, 1 second. He says, and after we explain this, it's important, it's a necessity that we make known to you now a little bit of introduction in the matters that we're going to be expounding upon, that we mentioned. Okay? If you guys want, you can read the English translation there, but the reason why I don't want to is because the English translation is not exact. It's not exact. I looked it over and I'm telling you it's not exact. But feel free to read the English to yourself so you can see if you caught that. I feel like more or less we caught that. Everyone caught that. What did we say? We said there's 5 levels to the soul. You don't get them all at once, but rather you get the lowest one and then you work from there. We said that they correspond to the 4 worlds, and it's interesting that how does it 4 worlds but 5 parts correspond? Because there is there's a fifth hidden world that we don't talk about. There is. It's never talked about. It's always talked about 4 worlds, but there's a fifth hidden world. Because we said Atzilus Bria Yitzir Asiya, but before Atzilus, the highest one of the 4, there's one more high one that we don't talk about. It's unmentioned. It's I guess we'll get there at some point. I don't know. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get to the Zohar? Let's see the Zohar. Look, if you see on my screen what I'm gonna do. Oh, usually it brings you the Zohar. Here it doesn't. Usually it will give you a link to open up the Zohar because it's quoted here. But we can just look it up. I could find it myself. Gracious Chafam. It's gonna be all right. How about this? We'll try to do the Zohar another time. I think because I don't have a link to open it directly, and to search for Zohar right now we can, but it's going to take me a few minutes, and it's not what I want to do right now with our time. So we're going to go on to the next piece, the second piece, but it's on the app or on the website. It's number 3. Is that cool? On the second piece, cool. All right, so we wanted inyan nefesh ruach neshama v'chulei. The matters of the nefesh, the ruach neshama, the bottom 3 levels of the soul, etc. V'chaluka derabanan. And I'm using the English translation to help me because I'm not sure. And its rabbinic subdivisions, Nispar Inyanim Ba'arech Bishar Dalid. Sha'ar ha- Sha'ar Psukim. Bepasuk ume'al katan tasaloi imoy. Okay, so the matter of nefesh, ruach, neshama, etc., and its rabbinic subdivisions are discussed at length in Gate 4 of Sha'ar Psukim. On the verse, his mother would also make a little rope for him. He's saying you can go and check out this other chapter that I wrote. I believe he wrote, right? I believe he wrote. And he tells you where, and there you can find the matter of nefesh, ruach, neshama, and what the rabbis said about it. Also explaining Gate 5 of the Gate of Mitzvot, Vayechi, in the laws of mourning, and we will also add more that is new. V'gam nispar b'shar hey, shar ha-mitzvos, b'parshas Vayechi, b'dinei ha'avelos ayin sham. V'oid nechadesh. Okay. He said you could see there where I already wrote, but I'm going to add some new stuff. Da, you should know. He call hanefashais hem oilam ha'asiya bilvad. All the nefashais, they come from the world of asiya alone, right? So there's different um, parts of the soul, and there's different worlds. So now he's going to correspond the different parts of the soul to the different worlds. So nefesh is coming from asiya only. That's the lowest soul corresponding to the lowest world. So that kind of makes sense, right? So we have nefesh corresponding to asiya. V'chol haruchos hem me'olam hayetzira. Everything that has a level of ruach that's coming from the level of Yetzira. So everything in the soul level, that's the second one, is in the world level, the second one. Ruchais are Yetzira. Everything that is on the level of Neshama is from the world of Beriah. Amnam, however, Rov Bnei Adam, the majority of the children of man, the majority of humans, Ein lehem kol hachamisha chalakim. They don't have all five portions. Anikraim nefesh ruach neshama v'chuli that are called nefesh ruach neshama etc., including chaya and yichida, right? Rak chelek hanefesh bilvad. Most people, he says, only have the lowest single one level nefesh. Most people are existing and vibrating in the first dimension. First dimension. People talk about 11 dimensions, 12. I've been talking about 5 dimensions. Why have I always been talking about 5 dimensions? This is why, because there's 5 worlds as far as I know. Maybe they can be subdivided, subcategories, or whatever. But here we see there's only 5 levels of the soul of 5 worlds, 5 general levels. So he says, yeah, they're just using the level of the lowest one, the nefesh, asher himin ha'asiya, which is from the level of asiya, the lowest world. Aval gam bazeh yesh madregas rabbis, but even within this, there's many levels. Who, and that is kine ha'asiya atzma, this world of asiya itself, the lowest level. Nechlekas lechamisha partufim. It's subdivided and broken down. It's divided into 5 faces, 5 formations. Okay, so even though it is how it is, it's asiya, but there's 5 ways of forming it. There's 5 ways of it having a face. Hanikraim, they are called Abba. No, what? Okay, Aleph Aleph. I'm forgetting what the Rosh Tevos are. Erech Anpin. Erech Anpin. Okay, there's 5 partsufim. There's Erech Anpin. Okay, this is what does that mean in English? How would you translate that? It means long face. Okay, but these are just Kabbalistic terms. We're going to get used to them. We're going to get accustomed to them. Even if it sounds scary now, it sounds weird now. We're going to get accustomed to all these terms and names. We're going to have to. This is going to become our language and our money and our currency. Okay, so Erech Anpin. I think it's the highest one. It's long face. The Abba ve'ima, and father and mother. Okay. Then you have Zer Anpin, which is another one, and then V'nukvin. Okay. Zer Anpin V'nukvin. Together it's Vizun. Zer Anpin V'nukvin. So that's five ways of arranging this world of Asiya. Okay. And behold, before man merits to grasp his second level of his soul called ruach, asher me'olam hayetzira, which comes from the second world, which is the world of Yetzira, he has to be perfected and complete and whole in all 5 faces of his lower aspect of his soul, nefesh, which comes from Ha'asiya, the lowest world of Asiya. Okay? Va'afalpi, and we're going to the next paragraph. All right. Va'afalpi shenoida, and even though it is known, sheyesh mi shenafshay min malchus ta'asiya, that there is someone who his nefesh comes from the malchus of Asiya, comes from the kingship of Asiya. V'yesh min yisoid Asiya v'chule, and there are those who they come from the foundation of Asiya, right? He's saying even though it's known that there are those who their nefesh, their lowest level of their 5 levels of their soul, it comes from an aspect of the kingship of the lowest world of Asiya, or there are those who the aspect comes from the foundation of the lowest world of Asiya. Foundation and kingship, Yisod and Malchut, they are 2 of the 10 Sefirot, by the way, just so you get an idea of where he's going with this. He says, Im kol zeh, even so, tzarech she'itakin kol ish v'ish kol klales alam ha'asiya. Even though in the world of Asiya, the lowest world, where your nefesh is associated with, even though your nefesh can come from different places within that world, every single nefesh has to fix the entire world of Asiya. And only after that can he get to the second level of the soul called Ruach, which comes from the second world of Yetzira. Even if his soul, his lowest level of his soul, his nefesh, comes from different parts of Asiya, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where your soul comes from in Asiya. You have to fix the entire Asiya before you can go to the next level. Okay? And only then can he get the next level, which is Ruach, and that comes from the second world of Yetzira. Okay. The Fisha Yetzira Gadol Mikol Asiya Kula. Because Yetzira is greater than the entire Asiya. Okay. This second world of Yetzira is greater than the entire Asiya. V'chein, and similarly, maybe I'll divrei zeh, I don't know. Let's see 1 second. English. Okay. I think the English runs off here. It doesn't even work here anymore. Maybe. I might be reading stuff wrong, but we're just gonna go with it, okay? I'm gonna do my best. Because like this acronym here, I don't know how to work, but it's gonna get better. We're gonna have more scholars coming on the classes and joining, and people who are familiar with the text, and they can proofread and edit and leave notes and stuff. But for now, it's fine. V'chein al divrei zeh or something. Kedei lahasig nishmasai asher min bria. In order to reach and grasp his neshama, which comes from Bria, right? Neshama is again a level up, and Bria is a level up. So we're a level up in souls and a level up in worlds. In order to grasp and reach the next one, the third level of the soul from the third world, Tzarech, she'itakin adam kol chelkei ruchei b'chol hayetzira. A person has to rectify all the portions of his ruach in all the world of Yetzira. In order to get to level 3, you have to complete your soul level 2 in world number 2 across the entire world number 2, just like we said about number 1. Okay, we see a pattern here. Let's see what's going on here. And after that, he's able to accept his third soul, called Neshama, from the third world, which is called Bria. And it won't be enough for him when he rectifies a specific place, that there is grasped the root of his soul. Rather, he has to rectify as mentioned. So it's not enough to just fix a specific place that your soul is rooted there. You just fix there where your soul is rooted. No, you have to fix the entire world. El kol ha'asiya, until he's worthy or appropriate for all the world of Asiya, which is the world number 1, the lowest one. Va'az yasig ruach hayetzira, and then after he fixes everything and he's worthy and worthwhile for the entire world of Asiya where he's living in, then he gets the second level of Yetzira, of his soul. It's Ruach. It's from the second world of Yetzira. Val Divrei Zer, something, the same acronym again, Bishar Alamais. And he says, and this is how it works in all the worlds. This is exactly how it works in all the worlds, right? You fix the world you come into, the entire world, not just where you're rooted, and then you get upgraded next level to the next world. Okay. Perish Advarim, an explanation of the words. Shiyasek b'Torah b'mitzvahs, that he should involve himself with the Torah, the teaching, right? And the mitzvot, the commandments. Asher hi kifi erech ha'asiyah kula, that is according to the value or width of the world of Asiya entirely, or something. V'lo yaspik kifi pratius makom achizas nafshay, and it's not enough according to the individual place of the holding of his soul. And behold, this is an aspect of fulfilling the teaching and the commandments. This, I'm going to jump onto the English. We have to. I don't see the English on my screen. It looks like they didn't translate it all the way, but I'm trying to find it anyway. Yeah, they don't have the full English translation here. You can see that if you're looking and following with the English, and if you're watching my screen, you can see that they don't have the full English translation. They have a lot of it translated, but there's parts missing, which is where we're at now. So I did my best. I read it as best as I can, and what I'm doing is I'm channeling the words of an ancient Kabbalist and mystic. And what does that do? Well, we're trying to bring down his soul energy, and that's what is happening. When we read his words, his lips are moving. That's what is written. So we're channeling, and that's why we read it in Hebrew, because that's the original language that he wrote it in. You could see the text. That's important. You can hear the letters. That's important. If we can understand, that's even better. But it's only as much as possible. We're gonna get better people on board who are more scholarly and have more wisdom and knowledge than I do, and know how to read. But I think we did pretty good. We could keep going. We could keep going. But you see, we have all the resources we want. We can study any Torah book we want. Some of them will have English, some won't, but we can at least channel it and read it down, read it. And similarly, if he wounded and sinned, and if he, yeah, in certain place of the lowest world of Asiya, even though it's not the place where his nefesh is grasping, his lowest part of his soul is holding there. He has to fix it, even if it's not the root place. Okay, he has to fix it. Okay, makes sense, right? However, if there's another nefesh, a different nefesh is the lowest part of the soul, right? So there's another nefesh that's lacking from doing a certain commandment, a certain good deed, a certain Torah mitzvah, a certain commandment, right? If there's another nefesh that's missing out on doing this mitzvah, asher he me'olam ha'asiyah, and that is from the world, the same lowest world of asiyah, o im asa shum avera upagam ba, or if he saw that that nefesh did a certain avera, he was over, he did something that he wasn't supposed to do, and he was pagamba and he ruined it. He did something bad. If one nefesh is looking at another nefesh in his world, right? We're talking about consciousness here. One nefesh is looking at another nefesh and saying, in this world of asiya, there's a lack of a mitzvah being done, or there was an avera being done. You were over and something. You crossed the red line. Ein ze mechuyev l'taken chasarin mitzvah. This nefesh is not obligated to rectify the lack of the commandment. O pagam shalavera zulasai, or the damage that was uh, brought about by the other one. Ela im kain rather hayu shneim mimakam echad. K'moshe yispar lekaman bezrat Hashem. He says, unless they were shneim mimakam echad, unless they're both from the same place, like we're going to explain later, God willing. O efshar ki ein sham tikon neufel, or it's possible that there isn't there any tikkun of falling, ela b'tikkun pagam, avera bilvad. O efshar, it's possible, he's saying, let's just say, ki ein sham tikkun neufel, ela b'tikkun pagam avera bilvad, ela b'tikkun pagam avera bilvad. Rather, with a rectification of the thing you ruined of the Avera, Bilvad only, and not in the doing and fulfillment of all the 248 commandments, positive commandments. We might have to double track and backtrack and read it again, but I'm just trying my best to channel it, okay? O Efshar, or it's possible, Vuhu Hanachan, and this is the worthy, appropriate way. Kidarach mashal, according to allegory. Mishuhu mi malchus denukva, dasiya hanikras nefesh dasiya. He who is from the kingship, the malchus of nukva, feminine, the feminine kingship of the world of Asiya, the lowest world, which is called nefesh dasiya, the nefesh of Asiya. He says, according to the mashal, if you want an allegory, malchus denukva de Asiya, the feminine kingship of this world is called Nefesh de Asiya. Okay? The feminine kingship of this world, our world, mi ki derech mashal, mi shehu mi malchus hanukva dasiya hanikras nefesh dasiya, mi shehu mi malchus denukva. He's from malchus, someone who's from malchus denukva dasiya, feminine of Asiya, which is called nefesh dasiya. Tzarich sheitaken kol hamalchus druach, and neshama, the chaya, yechida shel ha'asiya. Someone who's from the Malchus of Asiya, which is called Nefesh of Asiya, he has to rectify the whole Malchus of Ruach and of Neshama and of Chaya and of Yechida of Asiya. So he has to rectify all 5 levels. Nefesh. Kol Malchus Ruach. Kol Malchus Ruach Neshama Chaya Yechida. Chaya Yechida. Nefesh. Why doesn't he mention Nefesh? Because Kol Malchus. Okay. Just going with it. I'm just going with it. I'm trying my best just to channel. Bezrat Hashem, okay? או אפשר, והוא הנכון, כי דרך משל מי שהוא ממלכוס דנוקבה דעשייה הנקרס נפש דעשייה, צריך שיתקן כל המלכוס דרוח, ונשמה וחי יחידה של העשייה. והנה מי שלא תיקן רק מלכוס של עשייה, behold, he who did not rectify רק מלכוס של עשייה, אין בו רק נפש מן הנפש שבעשייה. ומי שתקן גם זר אנפין דעשייה, יהיו בי נפש רוח מן העשייה. אם תיקן גם אימא דעשייה, יהיו בי נפש רוח נשמה מן העשייה. וכן על דברי זה. So too according to these words. עד שנמצא until, fine, כי מי שתקן כל 5 פרצופים דעשייה, someone who rectifies all 5 formations of the world of עשייה, יש לו, he has to him, נפש רוח נשמה חי יחידה. He has to him all 5 levels of the soul, וכל 5 בחינס אלו, and all these 5 aspects, Kol bechina mechamishnon. He has each one from all the 5. Shlema b'shleisha chaleka. Complete with three portions, I think. Let's see if they translate that. This we're gonna read the English. We're gonna read the English on this one. Okay, we're gonna read the English on this one. It's gonna be good channeling. Shehem avur v'yanika umaychen kanizkar okay. Kanizkar b'pasuk ma'al katan ta'asa loy imay v'gomer. Nikres nefesh shlema dasiya. That's called the whole soul of the lowest world of Asiya. Vaz yiske el haruach min yitzira. And then he'll merit to get the ruach of yitzira. He'll get the next level. These five mentioned levels, Chamisha Madregos Haniskar, Vikulam Nikram Ruach Shalim Ditzira. They're all called an entire Ruach of Yitzira, which is already Ruach. That's the next level. I actually feel it. I just got a wind. I actually did just get a wind. I did just get a wind. I did. V'chein al divrei zeh b'nishmos habriya. And so it's going to be the same exact process with the souls of Bria. V'chein b'chaya, and so too with the souls, with the process of chaya. V'chein b'yechida, in the world of yechida, it's going to be the same process. It's going to be what we just did. It's going to be the same thing. Ve'en laharach b'zeh atar, and he writes, and there's not to be lengthened on this now. He says we're not going to go into this now. Okay, what did I just do? I just channeled for y'all, and I'm recording, so it's for everyone later. I just channeled for y'all words that were written down in Tzfas, where I lived for 2.5 years, by the way. I don't know where they were written, but in Tzfas, in that area, in Israel. Okay. But they were written like 500 years ago, but they're such holy concepts and containers. We want to meditate on these thoughts. They're very basic, very simple. The most basic and simple stories are the deepest. So that's how it works. So, the infinite shallow pool, I guess. I don't know. It's very deep, very simple. It has to be very simple, always. And now it's required that we will explain cholak echad sheyesh, a portion of one that there is. See, the English doesn't do it justice. I don't know how they get the English. And I said I'd read the English. Let's read the English. Let's read the English, and let's go back a minute. Let's read all the English, and we'll see if it makes sense according to what I read, because I read it differently than the English did. Let's read all the English and let's just see if it follows how it follows. Okay, let's just read the English for a minute. Hold on. Only English. Okay. We start with what is written by Chazal, that there are five names given to the Nefesh, and the order of them from lowest to highest is Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. Know that a person, Adam, itself, he is the spirituality that is inside a body, and the body is a garment, lavush, for the person. But the body, is not the person itself. As it says, the flesh does not cover up the person. Just as the Zohar says in Parshas Bereshis, page 22, folio 2. As it is known that the person is the source of all four worlds, Abiyah, which stands for Atzilus, Beriya, Yetzira, Asiya. And it is obvious that there are parts of each world within him, and that these parts are what we refer to above from one of the five names of the soul's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida, Naran, Chai, as we described. But we do not merit to take them all in one moment, rather we earn them through our merits. First we take the coarsest part, which is called Nefesh. Afterward, if we merit farther, we take the Ruach. And just as it is described in multiple places in the Sefer Hazar, Parshat Vayechi and Parshat Teruma, and specifically at the beginning of Parshat Mishpatim. When a person is born, he is given a nefesh. And after we explain this, I need to let you know more of what is said above. Well, the matter of nefesh, ruach, neshama, etc., and its rabbinic subdivisions are discussed at length in Gate 4 of Sha'ar HaPsukim in the verse. His mother would also make a little rope for him. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 19. Also explained in Gate 5 of the Gate of Mitzvot, Vayechi, in the laws of mourning. And we will also add more that is new. We'll add more chidushim. We'll tell you more stuff. Okay. Know that all of the nefashot are from the world of Asiya only, and all of the ruchot are from the world of Yitzira, and all of the neshamot are from the word of Beriah. But not all people, Bnei Adam, have all of the 5 parts of the soul, which are called nefesh, ruach, and neshama, etc. They only have a part of the nefesh, which is from the world of Asiya. However, even with this, there are many levels, because Asiya itself is separated into 5 partsufim, which are called Arich Anpin, Yechida, and Abba, corresponding to Chaya, and Ima, corresponding to Neshama, and Zeir, corresponding to Ruach, and Nukva, corresponding to Nefesh. If a person is worthy to merit to reach or receive his Ruach, which is from Yitzira, he must be complete with all 5 partsufim from Nefesh of Asiya. And even if he might know that his soul is from Malchut of Asiya, or whether it is from Yesod of Asiya, each of these people must fix or rectify all of the entire world of Asiya, meaning the whole Torah, mitzvahs, and halachos are from the world of Asiya. We need to master these first. Also, even if that's added in. You see, that's not the natural English translation that's added in. Okay. Then he can receive his Ruach, which is from Yitzira, which is higher than the entire Asiya. Also, even if he is able to reach his neshama, which is from Beriah, a person must fix all of the parts of his ruach first within all of Yitzira. Then he will be able to receive his neshama, which is from Beriah, and it is not enough for him to fix only the specific place, which is the source of his neshama. In summary, a person has to fix all of the parts of his nefesh, which is in the world of Asiya, until he graduates from the entire world of Asiya. And then he will receive the Ruach, which has its source in the world of Yitzira, etc., throughout all the other worlds. Here's the explanation. A person should toil in Torah and mitzvot in their completion, and he shouldn't stop learning or fulfilling them, regardless of where he is in the source of his nefesh. He should learn Torah and do mitzvot, which have their source in the world of Asiya. Okay, all that, I don't know if that was in the text, because that was, see, who's translating this English from the Hebrew? That's what the risk you take when you read a translation. But we should have better translations. We're going to make a worldwide network of translating all these texts into English, literally, word by word, letter by letter. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Safari is going to get much better. Safari is going to become like Wikipedia, open source, and we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, we'll figure it out in our own group, and we'll just make Safari.com better. We'll upgrade it. We have the technology. We know how to do it. We'll figure it out. Okay, anyways, similarly, if he sinned, chet referring to something missing or damaged, or also an arrow. If you shoot an arrow and you miss, I think that's called a chet. Or damaged, pagam. Right? That's the words that we were referring to. Chet and pagam. What are chet and pagam? If he was chet or pagam, any part of the world of Asiya, even though this isn't the place that is relevant to his nefesh, to the purpose of his nefesh, he must fix it. Similarly, if some other nefesh, another person meaning, is missing the performance of any mitzvah that is from the world of Asiya, or if he did it in Avera, a sin, and he damaged it, this nefesh, the soul, you are not required to fix his missing mitzvah, nor the damage from his Avera. However, if the two of you are in one place, same room, or you are both from the same shoresh of your soul. So it sounds like if the two of you are in the same place, are in the same place, not from the same place, but if you are two are in the same place, then you're from the same place of the soul. I just want to connect that. We have to check the Hebrew and be exact if the Hebrew really says that. But I want to go ahead and say, take a jump, a leap of faith, and say that it sounds like when you're sitting in the room with someone, that means your souls are rooted together. Because we'll go back to the Hebrew in a minute. We'll see it. Okay. Uh,
Joel,
yeah.
I added a table that helps people visualize what you're talking about.
You added a table.
I added a table.
What do you
It
mean?
shows, okay, if you go to the messages, it shows a table that describes the nefesh.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. 1 second. Lines. Okay. These are okay.
Does that help or not? I mean, it helps me visualize what you're talking about.
Yeah. Chachma bina das. Wow. Chesed gvur tiferes and tzachud yisod. This is great. Okay. Wow. This is very cool.
It's
Thank you,
from that
Luana.
I downloaded a PDF that accompanies that. I don't remember which page, but anyway, I just wanted to make a note that there's a table here to help people visualize
Cool.
the different levels of ascension of
Yeah.
the
Well,
soul.
you see also that when two people are sitting in a room, it's not a coincidence. In the world of souls, there's a connection there. I want to say how do I see that? How do I see that? How do I see that? I saw it. I saw it from this. I saw it from this. We could all see it together. I think we all saw it together. If it comes back, it'll come back. It will come back. We could re-look at the Hebrew. We could look at the English. Let's see. Malchut. Um, right here. So yes. However, if the two of you are in one place, same room, or you are both from the same shorish of your soul, as we will explain soon, Bezrat Hashem. So it's going to be explained in a future lesson. Okay, we could deal with that. You must help him fix it. So he says you don't you're not responsible for all the damage in the world. You're responsible only for yourself. Unless you're in the same room as someone or you come from the same soul root. And I want to add to that, what does it mean or? Because in English we say or. In Hebrew we didn't say or. We have to go back to Hebrew and look at how we worded it. But I think what he's bringing down and doing for us is that this idea is now inside of us that two people in a room, two souls connected. How do I know? He says, you don't have to rectify everything in the world unless you're in the room with them or he's connected to your soul. That's the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing. Those two are the same thing. If he's connected to you within your soul, then you're in the room with them. Okay? That's what I want to say. I don't think it's a huge jump. I think it's a good jump. I think it's a jump we will all take together. No? Anyways. Okay. However, if the two of you are in one place, same room, or you're both from the same shorish of your soul, as we will soon explain, Bezrat Hashem, you must help him fix it. Or it is impossible from what we said earlier that it is there that the fixing was required to be fixed from. Future editor will clarify this. What? Okay, this is editor notes? I don't know what's going on. Or is it possible that it is there that the fixing was required to be fixed from? In a way of an analogy, one who is from Malchut of Nukva of Asiya, which is called Nefesh from Asiya, He must fix all of the malchuts of his ruach, neshama, chaya, and yechida vasiya. Skipping for future edger. Once a perfects, completes his nefesh avasiya, then he merits a ruach from Yitzira. And within this ruach, there are 5 levels, as we described before, and each of them comprise a complete ruach of Yitzira. And also regarding the neshama from Beria, and also with Chaya, and also with Yechida. But this is not something we will go into now. Cool? Cool. All right, everyone. So I want to know, what should we just do more? Let's just do more. Should we just do more, or do we keep going, or in just the Hebrew, let's say? Because I think I proved my point that the English is not reliable here, and we want to, and I think I proved my point that we can just channel it, and we don't have to know every single letter, the exact precise measurements, of its frequencies to understand. We can just let it resonate within us and let it see. I think we proved that you can just read it. You don't really have to know exactly what you're saying. So should I just continue with just the Hebrew? Can we get a vote going? How is everyone
Hebrew,
doing? Does anyone like what just happened? Does everyone like it?
doing well.
Thank you. I guess if anyone hates it, they could always just leave. And we'll just go with it. We're just channeling divine energy. This is, like I said, this is written by a holy man, one of our greatest in the last, recent history, not even recent, 500 years. In the last 500 years, the holiest man of man that anyone can tell you about in mysticism, everyone knows it's Sfas, it's the Arizal. The Arizal, it's Sfas. Everyone knows mysticism, the last 500 years. Where's the light? Where's the light? It's Sfas Arizal. Everyone in the world knows that. Well, he's the author of this book. He didn't write it himself. He spoke it, but the one who wrote it was Chaim Vital, who I'm telling you, I come from him. My DNA, supposedly from my mom's side of the family, they tell us we come from him. So yeah, I'm here telling you, I'm reading the words that my ancestor may have written from this tzaddik that we're trying to channel his soul, describing us this world and how it functions. I'm here just channeling and reading you the words. We don't have the English resource in front of us because it doesn't exist yet, but we can make it together, especially with this. Dude, this is a conscious soul power effort group. We can do this. We can beat Art Scroll. We can beat everyone. We can make the best, most updated whatever we want. We can do this. Anyways, when you study, you're not just getting knowledge and information and wisdom, you're actually traveling through those worlds. Like I felt it when we traveled, I felt it when we went, when he said, like, okay, we completed the cycle of the lowest world, and so it's going to be for the second world. And I felt the ruach. I felt it for a second there, and then I was, like, so I think when you go through the different worlds, you're not just studying for the sake of, you're actually going through the process that he's describing. As he's describing it, and you're contemplating it, you're traveling. You're traveling. That's where that's how it works. Okay, so we read the Hakdama Aleph. I want to read it again. Let's do it again. Why can't we travel again through the same thing? Chazar is always very good. Or we could just continue, but I will continue. I'll read more, but let's read from the beginning again and let's see how it goes. All right. Hakdama Aleph. Everyone can either see my screen and see what's going on, or you can just click on the link that I sent to the group and join from there. I have my options turned on just to the Hebrew. The English is off for now because now I'm not trying to get anything other than the channel, the words as they came down. הקדמה א', ונסחו מה שכתוב חז"ל, כי 5 שמות יש לנפש, וזה סדרם ממטה למעלה, נפש, רוח, נשמה, חיה, יחידה. We're going to open up with what our sages of blessed memory taught us, that there's 5 names to the soul, and this is the order from bottom to top. You have nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. 5, okay? Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Vein safek ki lo nafal kriyas Hashemis and Hizkaris, and there's no doubt that it doesn't fall, the naming of these. We didn't name them in happenstance or just in chance. Mikro b'bizdamid. He says, there's no way it's just random. Very specifically named. Okay. Amnam da. However, you should know ki adam atzma, the man himself, hu haruknius asher b'toch guf. He is the spirituality that is within the body. Haguf hu levush adam, and the body is the garments of the man. Ve'inena ha'adam atzmoi. But the body is not the man himself. And like is written, Kumaisha Kasav or something. We're gonna have to figure out all the anagrams or whatever it's called, acronyms. Al Basar Adam Layasech. Also, we have to open up the Zohar. We have to get the Zohar quoted Zohar, and we have to study the Zohar. See, the study's not over. Even just this one part, he quoted a lot of Zohars. We have to go through all those Zohars. We have to really go into this world if we want to trip. But it's gonna take a lot of ketamine, a lot of patience, and a lot of you guys. You guys gotta be on board. You guys gotta be on board. I can't do this alone. Adam Mikasher Kol Daled Olamis Atzilus Bria Yitzir Asiya. And it's known that a man ties together all four worlds. Atzilus Bria Yitzir Asiya. I said there's a hidden fifth world. It's called Adam Kadmon, primordial man. Now is a good time to take a break and sing you a song from Tzfas. I heard this song in Israel in Tzfas. It's a song on the five worlds. It's a song on the five worlds. It was like this. Adam Kadmon, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, Ayam, Ayam. Adam Kadmon, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. A little off tune. I'm gonna try to find the song and upload it to the group, to this chat, because I have put it on my Facebook a year or two ago. Avshi Wanga, who's now making a fundraiser for his yeshiva to build up. A lot of tzfas is trying to get renovated. They need a lot of money in Israel. Israel needs a lot of money. It's the best investment. Honestly, Israel is the best investment going forward. Especially Tzfas is one of the four holy cities. But anyways, I used to take video classes on my page from his classes. This guy was teaching us Kabbalah in Tzfas, where the Arizal lived and is buried. The author of this book. That's dude. Okay. Anyways, I'm tripping out too much. So he made a song about these words, on the five levels of the soul. Sorry, the five worlds that correspond to the five levels of the soul. And it's a very beautiful song. It's very relaxing, and I will try to sing it to you when I can get into that relaxed place. But I'll also try to find you the video that I posted, or someone else maybe has a video of it, and I'll try to share it. אמנם דק האדם עצמאי הוא הרוחניוס אשר בתוך הגוף, הגוף הוא לבוש האדם, ואיננו האדם עצמאי. כמו something על הבשר האדם לא יעשך. כנזכר בזרע פרשס בראשית דף כ' עמוד ב'. אוקיי, ונוידע כי האדם מקשר כל דלת העולמות אצילוס בריאה יצירה עשייה. ולכן, and therefore, it must be that it must be within him portions from all the four worlds. ולכן בהכרח הוא שיהיו בו חלקים מכל הארבע העולמות. ואלו החלקים, כל חלק מהם נקרא בשם אחד מן החמישה שמות נזכרים. In this person, there has to be a part of each of the worlds, and they each have a name that was mentioned. Nefesh, Ruch, Neshama, Chai, Yechida. Those are the parts of the man that tie up within him all the worlds, because we said he ties up within him all the worlds. So it's a piece of all the worlds within him. What's the piece of the world that's within him? On each level, on the lowest level, it's called nefesh. On the next level, it's called ruach. Next is called neshama. Next is called chai. Next is called yechida. It's a piece of the whole world that's within him. It's a chelek of that world. It's a portion of that world, like is going to be explained. And it's not in one moment that he merits to take all of this, rather according to his merits. In the beginning, he takes portion, one portion, the lowest of all of them, and it's called nefesh. And after that, if he merits more, he takes also the ruach, and it will be explained, and like it is explained in many places in the Sefer HaZohar, and we're gonna have to see it. He says from there is in the portion of Vayechi, so we have to see Zohar Vayechi, and from them is Parshas Truma. We have to see Zohar Truma. There was probably, by the way, better texts than Sefaria where they have footnotes and they can tell you exactly which page in Truma, which page in, or maybe we have to see the whole portion. I don't know. I guess he's saying we have to see the whole portion. Why not? We have to channel that portion. In order to understand this portion, we have to channel that portion. Fine, we can do that. And he says specifically, see exactly. He says, like, if you're like Yoel and you're bugging out that you have to study so much, and he says you want specifics, the beginning of the portion of Mishpatim on page, he even tells us the exact page, 94, folio 2. And this is a quote, and he even quotes part of it. He says, Tochazi, come and see, Barnash, Kadis Yalid, a man when he's born, Yahavin le nefesh v'chulei. They give you a nefesh. So he says, if you want to restore your nefesh, right, you feel like you want to restart in life, you want to restart your bottom level, I think that's what we just did. We read this part of the Zohar, it channels, it brings you your nefesh, I think. I don't know. I think when you read about it, you're activating it. Okay, and after we explained all this to you, we have to give you a few introductions. In regards to the nefesh, ruach, neshama, etc., and what the rabbis expounded upon it, we explained a lot of it in length in Shar Dalid, which is called Shar Psukim, in chapter 4, which is called the chapter of verses. On the pasuk, on the verse of Samuel chapter 1, verse 2, Ume'ayel katan tasala imoy. And now we're also going to explain in and it was also explained in chapter 5, the gate of mitzvot, the commandments, in the Parsha Vayechi, B'dinei Havelus, okay, in the rules of mourning. So right? This is all review. We read all this already. Ayin Sham, see there. And now we're going to make more chidushim, novel ideas. You should know that all the souls that are from the world of Asiya, okay, all the souls are from the world of Asiya alone. All the nefesh, every nefesh, the lowest soul, yeah, it's only from the lowest world of Asiya. And all the ruchais are only from the world of Yitzira. All the neshamais are only from the world of Bria. Okay? Each level of the soul has a specific place where it comes from in the world. However, most people, they don't have all 5 parts that are called nefesh, ruch, neshama, chaya, yechida. Rather, they only have the part of the nefesh itself. And that's from the lowest world of Asiya. Even with this, there's many levels, and that is the lowest world of Asiya itself is broken into 5 faces, 5 partsufim, and they have names. We call them Erech Anpin, Abba, Ve'ima, Zer Anpin, V'nukvin. Okay? Those are the 5 names in Hebrew. So even our lowest world that we think is so simple, no, there's still 5 faces in our world. And behold, before a person is able to reach his next level up of Ruach from the next world of Yetzirah, he has to complete all 5 faces of his lowest soul in the world of Asiya. So we have 5 faces that we have to fix to get a level up, okay? And even though it's known that there's those who his lowest part of his soul, his nefesh, is from Malchus of Asiya. Where does it come from in Asiya? It comes from Malchus, which is, okay. V'yesh min Yisod de Asiya, and there's those who his nefesh comes from Yisod of the world of Asiya. Im Kolzeh, with all this, he has to rectify each and every man has to rectify the entire world of Asiya. It doesn't matter where you come from in the world of Asiya, each and every man has to rectify the entire Asiya. And after that, he can accept his Ruach, which comes from the next world of Yetzirah. Because Yetzirah is greater than the entire Asiya altogether. And according to this, so too he will grasp his Neshama, which comes from the higher world of Beriah. In order to do that, he has to rectify all the portions of the previous world, which is Yitzira. So in order to get level 3, he has to rectify all of level 2. And after that, he'll be able to accept his neshama, which is from Bria, level 3, right? And it won't be enough when he fixes his specific place where his third level of his soul, his neshama, is rooted and is grabbing there. He can't just fix that. Rather, he has to fix the entire thing, like we mentioned, the entire world, until he's eligible and fixes the entire Asiya, and then he gets the ruach of Yitzira. And according to this, it goes in every world. And the explanation of these words is that he should involve himself with Torah and mitzvos, which is the entire world of Asiya. The entire world of Asiya. What's the world of action? Because the lowest world is called Asiya. What's Asiya in Hebrew means action. So what's action? He says, what action are you involved with? It's Torah and mitzvos. And it's not enough to do Torah mitzvos in the place where his nefesh is grasping and holding on to. Rather, it has to be in the whole world, right? And the whole, behold, this is an aspect of fulfilling the teaching and the law and the commandments. And so too, if a person sins and damages in a certain place in the world of Asiya, even though it's not the place where his soul is grabbing and rooted, he has to fix it. However, if there's another soul that's lacking to do this mitzvah, or that which is from the world of action, or if this other nefesh is trying to do an avera and make a damage there, this nefesh, the first one, is not obligated to rectify the lack of the second nefesh or the damage of the other, unless they both come from the same place, like is going to be explained later on, Bezrat Hashem, with God's help. It says you don't have to fix your friend's mistakes unless you come from the same place. So does that mean you're in the same room, or does that mean that you have the same soul root? And that's what I was saying. I think it's the same thing. Those, when you sit in the same room with someone, it means you're rooted in the soul somehow. In the world of souls, you're somehow rooted together at that moment. או אפשר כי אין שם תיקון נופל, אלא בתיקון פגם עבירה בלבד, ולא בסיס קיום כל רמ"ח מצוות עשה. או אפשר. כי אין שם תיקון נופל, אלא בתיקון פגם עבירה בלבד, ולא בסיס קיום כל רמ"ח מצוות עשה. This piece I don't get. I don't get this piece. I don't get this piece. This till this period here. I don't get it. או אפשר כי אין שם תיקון נופל, אלא בתיקון פגם עבירה בלבד, ולא בסיס קיום כל רמ"ח מצוות עשה. או אפשר כי אין שם תיקון נופל. He says alternatively, there's no tikkun falling there or something. Rather, the tikkun is the only tikkun is in the damage that was done, but not in doing all the positive actions. I don't know. It's not so complicated. It's probably more simple than I'm trying to make it, and that's why I'm confused, but it's okay. It says alternatively, it's possible that there's no tikkun at all besides the tikkun of the rectification, and not enforcing him to do mitzvahs. I think he's saying maybe like sometimes you don't have to force someone to do mitzvahs. You just have to fix the damage they've done, but you don't have to force them to do mitzvahs. That's what it sounds like. Oh, afshar ki ein sham tikkun nofel, ela b'tikkun pakam avera bilvad. You just fix the avera. V'lo b'asiyas kiyum kol ramach mitzvahs aseh. But not that you have to do all the positive actions. It sounds like when you're sitting in the room with someone and you want to fix their damage, you don't have to force them to do mitzvahs. It sounds like that's what he's saying. Okay. Oh, Efshar, v'hu hanachon. And you could say alternatively, and he says this is the right way. Hiderach mashal, allegory. Someone who is from Malchus, the Nukva Dasiya, which is called Nefesh Dasiya, he has to fix all of Malchus, the Ruach, Neshama, V'chai, Yechida, Havasiya. והנה מי שלא יתיקן רק מלכות של עשייה, אין בו רק נפש מן הנפש שבעשייה. If he didn't fix besides for the malchus of Asiya, if he only fixed his malchus in Asiya, then he only has his nefesh from Asiya. He doesn't have the higher levels because he didn't finish malchus in the higher levels. Misha tikkun gam zer anpin de Asiya. Or if he finished in Asiya, he finished not just malchus, he also finished zer anpin, which is a level up from malchus. You by nefesh ruach min Asiya. Then in the world of Asiya, he has already a second upgrade. He has a ruach. He gets a ruach, which is from the second world, but it's not the second world ruach. It's in the first world still, but he gets a ruach within the lowest world. So he has a nefesh and he has a ruach in Asiya. So you see, even in the lowest world, you have all the 5 parts of the soul. V'im tikkun gam ima dasiya, and if he fixes also ima, the mother of Asiya, Yubai, then he gets also the neshama. So he'll have nefesh ruach neshama, non rational nefesh ruach neshama min Asiya. Okay, v'chein al divrei zeros, and so too according to these words, until it comes out, ad shenims, until it comes out, kimi shetikan kol chamisha partzufim dasiya, that someone who fixes all 5 of these levels or faces of the lowest level of Asiya, yeshlo, he has a nefesh ruach neshama chayechida. He has all 5 levels within the lowest level of the world, even though he didn't get to all 5 worlds and fix all 5 worlds and get all 5 levels. But if he fixes all 5 faces of the lowest world, he has the 5 levels of the lowest world. But still, it's the 5 levels. When all these 5 levels, every aspect from the 5, it's complete with like 3 portions, which are Avor, Ibor, maybe Unica, and Meichen. Unica and Meichen. Ibor, I might be reading this wrong, but Ibor I think is a pregnancy. Okay, Unica is like suckling, and Meichen is consciousness or brains. Kanizkar b'pasuk, like that were mentioned in the verse. We had this verse earlier. Ume'al katan tasalai imay v'gomer. It was the Zohar quoted that verse previously up in the top. Okay, something like that. I think. Nikres nefesh shlema dasiya. Only after he gets all this is he called that he has a complete nefesh of Asiya. So to get a complete nefesh of Asiya, the lowest level of the lowest world, to get a complete lowest soul level, it means that within that you completed all 5 of its faces, of its partsufim. And once he does that, he gets ruach from Yetzirah, the next world up. Okay. Now he has a ruach from the next world up. So he has a second level soul from the second world. And the same thing works with the next level up from level 2 to level 3. Same from level 4. And same on level 5. And it's not the time to expound on it now. Okay, wow, I'm very, very happy we read it a second time, because the second time it made a lot more sense to me than it did the first time. I think we can read it a third time, a millionth time, a trillionth time, and every time we read it, it'll make more sense. In fact, the Jews have always been like that 101 times is not like 100 times. You study it 101 times, not 100 times, 101 times. Every one makes a difference. So on your own, you can study this later. You can watch the video again later. You can study it on yourself later. But we all really, really, really should contemplate these. These are very deep and basic, fundamental, and foundational thoughts. We're going to continue, but I'm just very excited. All right. Va'at tzarich shenivar chaluk echad sheyesh. Now it's important to explain. It's required to explain one discrepancy. Bein hanefesh shal ha'asiya el shara chalakim. What's the difference between the nefesh of asiya to the rest of the portions? Shemina yitzira, which is one level up, va'briya, va'atzilus, and two levels up and three levels up. Right. So what's the difference between the nefesh of this world and the three worlds above it? And we're also going to explain with this a great wonder. How is it possible that someone whose source is in the Malchus of Asiya, is in the kingship, how is it possible that someone whose source is in the kingship of the lowest world of Asiya, how is he how is he able to get up if his source is in Malchus? How is he able to get to Keser? Malchus is at the bottom. So if you're going to tell me my source is the lowest, how am I going to get to the highest? If my source is in the 10th, how do I get to the first? She'im kain, that if so, Nimtza comes out, Shekivan Shekol B'nai Yisrael Muchorchem Lehiskalgal, that since all the sons of Israel are forced to reincarnate, Ad Sheyishlamu B'chol Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chai Yechido, until they complete in every Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chai and Yechida, all 5 levels of the souls. Nimtza Shemuchrach Hu, it comes out that it's obligatory Shekulam Yisalu Bekeser Dasiya, that everyone has to go up to the highest level of Keser in the lowest world of Asiya. Ubekeser Diyatzira, and also to the next world, to the crown of that world. Ubekeser Debriya, and to the crown of the world of Briya. V'chol Sha'ar HaBechinos Yu B'Telem. And all the other aspects are going to be batel. They're going to be null and void. Everyone's going to be in the crown. However, this should not come up onto your mind. Because it's simple to us. Because there is amongst the children of Israel those that are from an aspect of kingship, malchus. Etc. And there are those that are from foundation, etc. Like is mentioned in the beginning of the Sefer of Tikkunim HaZohar. So again, we have to read the Zohar. We see the Zohars keep coming up. He's quoting here, "The isbehu Rashi Alfei Yisrael mitzad Keser," that there is in it the heads and the generals of Israel from the side of the crown. V'chachamim mitzad Chachma, and the wise ones that come from Chachma. V'nuvayim min Bina, and there are those that come from Bina. So you see that each Sephira has souls that come from that Sephira. So the question is, if I come from this Sephira, how am I going to get to the crown? However, in light of this matter, it's dependent upon that which will be explained or we explain. There's a difference between the lowest world of Asiya to the rest of the 3 worlds when they are together. And it's according to this. This is how it's different. In regards to the lowest world of Asiya itself, it is like this. He who is rooted in the Malchus of Asiya, he was rooted in the kingship of the lowest world of Asiya. Pashatu, it's simple. That his nefesh is in the Malchus of Asiya specifically. However, with all this, through rectifying his actions, his nefesh, his lowest soul, is purified, madrega achar madrega, and refined, more accurately, it's refined level after level, ad shetit ale hi atzma beketer dasiya, until it raises up and elevates itself all the way to the crown of Asiya. V'tuchlal v'titala ad shamamish, and it's included and elevated until there literally. However, with all this, she'ala ada keser dasiya, that it rose up until the keser of Asiya, adayim sham enenu rak v'vchinas malchus to keser dasiya. It only has an aspect of malchus, of keser dasiya. Ki ein shar she'elam v'vchinas malchus. It only came with its source of being malchus, the lowest level of malchuchu shetzarch she's dachik ad she'ala ada keser dasiya mamash. He has to it must be that he has to be purified and refined until he elevates until the crown of the lowest world, literally. Afal Pishadain as just lost where I was 1 second. Afal Pishadain az inenu nikra rak mivchinas malchus to keser dasia. Even though at that point he's still not called, he's only called malchus of keser dasia. Al derech zeh b'shar madrigas dasia. Kinenu nikra rak mivchinas malchus shel madrigas hahi. Kinenu nikra rak mivchinas malchus shel madrigas hahi. Okay, can we take a break? Is that okay? Do I get a break? Do I get a break, anyone? How was
Yeah,
that?
go for it. Why not?
How was that? Did you guys follow? You guys felt it?
Deep.
Did you feel it?
Very, very insightful.
You think it's
Yes,
something we can do?
it helped me.
Good. You think it's something we could do moving forward? You think that it's enough, the skills that we have with our group combined? Do you think it's enough that we can approach this and tackle this and go through any book and any subject whenever we want?
You have a great way of interpreting things, so yes.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. So this has been very good. We started with I don't know how many people, and we're ending now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. There's 5 of us. That's very good. I'd like to have a ideally ultimately 10, 10 at all times, but 5 is very, very, very good start. Let's get to 10. We'll spread the message. People are going to see this. They're going to see the videos. I'm recording it. So people are going to see this and they're going to start requesting to join. Anyone who's in the group, I thought it was just admins, but I realized it's anyone who's in the group can add any other people to the group. So if someone wants to be interested to join, you can just add them yourself if you're friends with them on Facebook. You have to be friends with them on Facebook, I think, to add them to the group.
Now, did you know that Safaria has the Zohar?
Yeah. Do they have they they don't have it in English, or they do have it in English, or parts of it in English?
Yes, it's both. I posted the link to the Zohar from Safaria. Originally, I posted from somewhere else, but now I deleted those too. So anyway, I just thought you did. I wasn't sure if you knew.
Yeah, let's just read one page from the introduction. If anyone wants to go into the group chat, you can click on where it says Melanie sent a link. It says safaria.org/Zohar. So when you click on that, you can go. I guess you can just click start reading and it'll take you to the beginning. Or you can just click on page 1A and it'll take you to the same place, I think. But I have in front of me Reb Chizkiya Pasach Ksiv. Kishoshana ben Achloichim. Manchashana da Knesset Yisrael. Mashashana dihi ben Achloichim. Isba sumak v'chivar. Uf Knesset Yisrael isba din v'rachameh. Mashashana isbe tleisar olin. Uf Knesset Yisrael isba tleisar mechilon derachmeh de sacharin le. Mikol sitraha. Uf elehim dahacha. Mishata di idkar apik tleisar tevin le sachara le Knesset Yisrael unatra le. Okay, what does that mean in English? So we have the English in bottom, and someone can follow and tell me for the words that I don't know, but I'm going to translate it myself and channel it how I can. Our teacher Chizkiah opened up a portal. Okay, he opened. What do you mean he opened? He opened up a portal of wealth of knowledge and wisdom for us. He says it's written in Shir HaShirim, in Songs of Songs. It's written like a rose amongst the thorns. Okay, so he says, who's the thorn? Who's the rose? The rose, this is the Knesset Yisrael. This is the gathering of Israel. And then in parentheses, we have there is a Shoshana and there is a Shoshana. There is a rose and there is a rose. There's a rose above and a rose below, maybe, or something. I don't know. Just like the rose is between the thorn, that is between the thorns, has within it sumak and chivar. There's two colors, I think red and white. So too, Knesset Yisrael, the gathering of Israel, has within it judgment and mercy. Just like the rose has 13 leaves, so too the gathering of Israel has 13 something of mercy. That
Attributes.
attributes. Okay, yeah, disacharin that do something to it from all sides. So they cover it from all sides or protect it. I don't know. And then he says also Elohim over here. From the first time it's mentioned Elohim, there's 13 words, I think, until the next word Elohim. I think it's like there's Elohim and then 13 words and then Elohim maybe to to cover the Knesset Yisrael and to guard them and protect them. So you have Israel as a entity, as a nation. It's called Knesset Yisrael. It's compared to a rose, which is a rose has 13 petals protecting it. So too in the verse there in Bereshit in Genesis, someone should count somewhere, but there should be a verse where you have the word Elohim, and in between the word Elohim you have 13 words. And something like that. So you have the 13 petals protected by Elohim, something like that. Okay, I hope I didn't mess it up too much. Let's just read the English that they have and see if I got it kind of right. Rabbi Hizkiah opened. It is written as a rose among thorns. What is the rose? It is the congregation of Israel, because there is a rose and there is a rose. Just as the rose among thorns is tinged with red and white, so is the congregation of Israel affected by the qualities of judgment and mercy. Just as a rose has 13 petals, the assembly of Israel is surrounded on all sides by the 13 attributes of mercy. Thus, between the first mentions of the name Elohim in the Torah, these 13 words surround and guard the congregation of Israel. I guess in the Torah, when the first time it says Elohim to the second time it says Elohim, maybe there's 13 words. Somewhere there's supposed to be 13 words corresponding to 13 petals. Now you can see again, I think I just proved again that we can open up any book, any Zohar, anywhere, it doesn't matter. And we have the skills, we can read it together, we can channel it. And sometimes there's going to be English, sometimes there won't. And the English we see is not always reliable, gets cut off and stuff, but it's fine. We have enough going, and eventually our group will be big enough and advanced enough that we'll really be masters of this, and we'll be meditative, spiritual, yogi, giants, whatever you want to call it. So, anyways, uh, cool. We're at an hour and 27 minutes. I think this was really good. I think we can do it again anytime, any day. I like this idea of doing it 1 p.m. every day. I would want to start really 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. And again, that's Florida time. So Colorado time would be 11. So I would want to do Colorado time 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. I really want to do it twice a day. Um, let's see. Let's see how far we get. Let's see what happens. For now, I'm very happy with our progress. This is only the third class, only the third meeting, third study group. I think it went very well. I'm very happy.
I think so. I understood what you said. There are different levels of growth um, to get to the highest level, which is, I don't know, I guess other people would call it enlightenment or something. Is that right?
Exactly.
But and I guess that's where the 613 uh, laws or mitzvot come into play to get to the highest level. Is that right?
I don't know what they exactly do. We're gonna have to figure that out. That's a really important question. Like what role the mitzvot play? I don't know. I have to figure that out. It's the most important question. It's the most pertinent question because as Jews, we're busy doing mitzvot all day. Do we even have any clue what they're doing? Like how does that rectify the world? I want to know how that's rectifying the world.
I'm looking at a site and it says the Jewish people are compared to a flower.
Yeah.
So anyway, the site doesn't really explain what those petals symbolize, but there are 13. But yeah, I'll figure it out.
They're supposed to protect
What?
the flower from damage.
The 13 petals for the people of Israel, that doesn't have anything to do with Maimonides' 13 principles, does it?
It has to. You can't have like two 13s and not have them connect.
Interesting.
There's gonna be a third 13 for sure, because I sent a screenshot to my wife. I'll send it to the group on my receipt this morning with three 13s on it. We're probably gonna find a third 13. It's probably gonna come up. Anyways, you see 13, 13, 13.
The
I don't
site
know.
says it says Exodus 5:7 describes what the petals mean.
Exodus 5:7. Let's go see Exodus.
I believe so, but uh, before before he bestowed it, God gave Moses a timeless formula for accessing God's mercy in times of trouble, listing 13 attributes of divine mercy. God, good, or yeah, I compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abundant in kindness and truth, preserver of kindness, forgiver of iniquity, willful sin, and error, and who cleanses. Jews continue to invoke those 13 qualities today.
Nice.
So the petals symbolize qualities of what the Jewish people exemplify in practice. I get, yeah, I guess it's in Exodus 5:7.
I'm in
But
Exodus 5,
anyway, yeah.
7. I don't see. Say I have Exodus 5, 7. Shemos is Exodus, right?
Yes.
So I have Exodus 5, 7. The same day Pharaoh charged the taskmasters and overseers of the people, saying, "Oh, you shall no longer provide the people with straw for making bricks as heretofore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves." That's what I have in Exodus 5, 7.
Yeah, so it's pretty long. Yeah, I don't know why this website cited Exodus 5,
You could
7.
share it to the group, and let's look at it. Let's all look at it. I wanna.
Oh, okay. It's from my Aish. I'm going to post it now.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Cool. I'm gonna
Let
end the
me see.
recording now and end the call now. I gotta go. I'm not. I'm
Okay.
here though. Put it in the group, and I want to look at it. I want all of us to look at it, and all of us to see it. I'll share it. We can get in on these travels. On the next study group class thing, we can study whatever we want. We're not limited to this book. We're not limited to any book. I want to show us all that we can study anything we want. We can channel anything we want, any book, any wisdom. So I think we
Okay.
proved it to
So,
ourselves that we can do this. So let's just go with it. We'll study whatever we want. We can go on any topic. And the group, the message group, the group chat will be the forum to discuss like what we want to study and the resources. Any resources we want for the class, you can just put their link stuff there. And if I click on it, everyone who watches the video later will see it because I'm screen recording it. You know?
okay. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Shalom.